to Mizzy Sports Chat. I am your host, Mizzy, and oh my gosh, you guys, did we have a fucking blockbuster go down yesterday. In this video, you guys, we're going to be breaking down a little bit of the Davante Adams trade to the Raiders. Obviously, the Packers sending their star wide receiver to the Raiders for some compensatory draft picks in this year's upcoming draft. Absolute shocking news, you guys. I'm a huge Green Bay Packers fan, do a lot of content on the Packers on this channel. Definitely didn't see this one coming, you guys. Absolute blindsided by a fucking 18-wheeler semi-truck on this one. Did not see this coming whatsoever. I just had released a video yesterday kind of talking about the Green Bay Packers off-season game plans. And, one of those top off-season targets that we needed to address this off-season, you guys, obviously, that I had talking about was signing Davante Adams to a contract extension. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers coming back, I think a lot of us thought that Davante automatically would be signing an extension to stay with the Packers. Obviously, that is not so. He decided to move over to the Raiders, play with old-time teammate and good friend there, Derek Carr, at the QB spot there for the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, they got a good relationship going way back to their college days when they were on the same team together. So obviously that played a big factor into Adams wanting to leave Green Bay. It is reported as well that the Packers did offer him a contract matching the same salary that the Vegas Raiders offered, but Adams wanted out, apparently, didn't want to play with the Packers anymore. So it just is the way it is, man. If a guy doesn't want to be with the team, you might as well get something for him in return. I thought the Packers made a good trade, in my opinion, on this one, you guys. Like I said, when you got a guy who doesn't want to be here, isn't willing to sign a contract, you're offering the same amount of money as the Raiders. So you might as well get rid of the guy and try and get some assets in return if he's not going to be willing to sign a contract with you. Same thing, there's no sense of dragging this out for months on end, especially with, if you knew that Davante wasn't going to be coming back to the team next season, you got to get some wide receiver help soon, especially since free agency is already kicked off. We're already limited on the free agent wide receivers that are accessible right now. The last thing you want to do is, hold him on a franchise tag for another month or two and then find out he still doesn't want to do a deal. And then you end up trading him anyways sometime midsummer when the draft is already done. And, free agency is pretty well rounded out, and then you're stuck with no number one wideout. So I think it was a smart move by the Packers getting rid of him early. Getting some draft capital. We got a really nice stocked up board now for our draft coming up here in a month. So really looking forward to that. I think we'll be able to draft a high-quality talent in the first or second round at the wideout position for sure. And then going over to the free agency side of things, you guys, I definitely think we're going to bring in at least one, maybe two wide receivers. Maybe bring back a receiver that we used to have on the squad. So yeah, you guys, pretty exciting news anyways. Shocking news for sure as a Green Bay Packers fan. Didn't see this one coming. I still think our Super Bowl window is open for sure. Like I said, I don't think that it's going to make us a terrible team losing Davante Adams. I think there was a record out there as well. People were talking about where the Packers were 10 wins and 1 loss anytime Davante has not played throughout his career. So 10 wins and 1 loss, 7-0 under Matt LaFleur without Davante on the field. So it's not like we're a bad team without him. I honestly think it's going to take away some of that tunnel vision from Aaron Rodgers, because I found last season especially, man, this guy had so much tunnel vision on Davante that he was missing wide open receivers all over the field. I mean, most notably was the wide open Allen Lazard down the middle of the field that would have got you a first down and most likely would have helped you to win that game versus San Francisco in the playoffs. And he completely ignored that for a long bomb deep shot into double coverage to Davante that just ended up overshooting the guy. But like I said, Lazard was wide open on that play. There's quite a few other plays throughout the season that, guys are open and he chooses not to throw the ball because he's just hawk-eyed. He's just absolutely blinders on Davante Adams, right? So I honestly think this is going to help out our offense. I think our offense is actually going to be better. Obviously, Davante's amazing, but, when the offense runs through one guy, obviously his numbers are going to be great because he gets targeted 5 times to every one target for every other receiver on the team. So there's no surprise his numbers should be better, unless he's dropping a shit ton of passes, which obviously he doesn't do that either. So, at the end of the day, going to miss the guy. He was obviously a longtime Packer, drafted by the Packers organization. One of the best wide receivers in the game today, probably a top 3, right up there with Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion. Sucks to see him go. Glad he's gone to the AFC. I mean, that AFC West keeps getting more stacked up. I mean, it's just absolutely insane, you guys, how many top-end players they got over in the AFC West right now. We'll look at some of the Packers picks now. Since that trade, they ended up acquiring a first round number 22 overall from the Raiders, as well as a second round number 53 overall pick. So now we got 2 picks in the first round, 2 picks in the second round. I mean, that's absolutely huge in my opinion. The Packers could end up trading a couple of those picks to trade up and maybe take a big-time talent in the top 15 selections in the first round here. Personally, what I would do, I would keep all the picks that we got right now. I kind of like where we're at. I would personally draft a wide receiver in the first and second round with those 2 picks you got from the Raiders. And then, our first and second round pick that we already had, I would probably take a defensive lineman and then an offensive lineman in the second round. That's just my personal opinion. Then you can address, outside linebacker in that third round. You got 2 fourth-round picks with 1 compensatory as well, so you can go ahead and get another O lineman and another D lineman. And then you can kind of backload the back end with maybe a middle linebacker, an extra cornerback. Things like that. We also have 3 7th-round picks as well, so it wouldn't be too surprising if we trade some of our back-end picks to maybe move up in the 3rd or 4th round as well. Be interesting to see how the Packers play it all out there with the 11 total picks that we do have. But they're going to want some cheap options that can hopefully make a difference on the team as well with all the big contracts. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers got signed to the big deal. Elton Jenkins is going to need a contract coming up in the next year or so. Same thing with Jair Alexander. He's going to need a contract coming up here in the next year or so. Obviously, we have a shit ton of cap space now with Davante gone. I think the Packers are sitting around $21 million of cap space. I believe Rasul Douglas is going to be signing now that Davante has been traded. I believe the plan was to have him signed as soon as they got that trade dealt with and get some cap space off of their books. So obviously that's a huge addition as well. I think our defense is really going to be stout this year, you guys. I just see us being absolutely nasty on the defensive side of the ball, especially that we can bring back everybody from last year other than Z. We can maybe even bring in a good free agent veteran for that defensive line or for their outside linebacker room as well, just because we have, like I said, over $20 million in cap space now. Some of the free agent wide receivers that we can go ahead and take a look at. The 3 most notable ones on my list, you guys, is Jarvis Landry, number 1. Would love this guy on our team. The dude has fucking glue hands. He's just as good as, those high point catches and those contested catches as OBJ. I mean, both of those guys are cut from the same cloth. Both of them, were friends growing up together in high school and college. I could see us getting him for sure. I would love to get the tandem of him and OBJ. Obviously, OBJ wouldn't be able to play probably till late in the season because he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl there. But that would be huge to have those 2. Worst case scenario, you get Jarvis at least. Juju Smith-Schuster's also going to be out on the market. He would be a formidable option. More of a number 2, but still would be a good option to replace some of the load that Davante Adams carried on his shoulders when he was with the Packers. And then you got Julio Jones as well. Obviously a little bit more of an older option there. But you could package Juju and Julio together, or Juju and Jarvis together. I mean, you could bring a couple in. Personally, what I think the Packers should do, though, you guys, is only bring 1 more wide receiver in. Whether that be MVS or we decide to take Jarvis or Juju or Julio or OBJ, I think we should only bring 1 big-time free agent wideout in. And then, like I said, I think we should focus on drafting 1 in the first round and drafting 1 in the second round. There's a lot of deep wide receiver talent in this year's draft. I think that will give us a good opportunity to get somebody in there that can make an impact this year and for years to come. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at, you guys. I mean, crazy trade yesterday. Couldn't believe it. Now that, we're kind of calmed down and taking a look at the grand scheme of things here, I definitely don't think the Packers made a bad decision here. At least you got some draft capital and some good draft capital. I believe Davante was a 2nd-round pick when we picked him up. So the fact that, a 2nd-round pick that you're able to utilize for, 6 or 8 years that he played with the Packers, outstanding career with the Packers, and then be able to flip him in return for his 2nd-rounder that you ended up using on him, as well as a 1st-round pick. I think it's pretty good by the Packers, in my opinion, especially with a deep wide receiver draft this year. I think the Packers will be able to find their upcoming stud in this year's draft, no problem. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, man. You think the Packers won this trade here, or do you think the Raiders absolutely dusted us up and embarrassed us in this trade, getting Davante Adams signed to a 5-year extension? You guys would love your guys' opinion on that in the comment section down below. That pretty well wraps it up for this one, you guys. Please go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section down below. Please go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content in the near future. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and this is Sports.